Hello everybody, this is Mr. Schuman here with another tutorial video. This is Adobe Illustrator. The lesson is Basic Shapes. Basic Shapes essentially is meant to be an easy first project, nothing too crazy, for you to start to get used to the environment of Illustrator and working with some of the Illustrator features. What we're hoping to see is that you prove to us that you know how to work with your selection tools, you know how to apply fill and stroke colors, and that you can organize a document. So nice, simple, easy. To get ourselves started, of course, please refer to the handouts that your instructors have given you. There is a somewhat of a sample on the back side to at least give you an idea of the direction you're heading. So to start us off, we're going to go ahead and create a new document. Please make sure that your units are inches, the size is letter, and we do want it to be in portrait for orientation, which is the one on the left. Please make sure that you do save this into your personal server folder. And we know by default that there are no rulers, so we're going to show rulers. What it says on our sheet is, using the proper drawing tools, create the following rows of objects. All objects must fit within a ½ inch of all edges of the artboard. See sample for organization and placement. Objects must also create even rows and columns to create a visually pleasing display. So we know things need to be nice and neat and organized. What also jumped out at me was the ½ inches around the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my selection tool and I'm going to go in and bring in a guideline. Oops. Now if you accidentally drop that guideline too soon, they do lock by default, so we're going to have to come in here, View Guides, Lock Guides, I'll unlock, and now I can make sure I can start dropping a guideline a ½ inch in from each edge. These guidelines will select and delete, so we do have to make sure when we're done we lock those back up. So for row 1, what it says is it should contain an oval, a perfect circle, a rectangle, and a perfect square in that order. And that's it. It doesn't really say what size. We know we just need those things in that order in a nice, neat row. So I'll go and I'll grab my basic shapes and I'll pull that out. And I can start by creating my oval. All right. To create a perfect circle, Shift key, although please don't forget to take out your basic shape tool shortcut handout. And I notice that my stuff's disappearing here. It isn't. It's disappearing, but it is there. That's because my fill and stroke are both none. So I'm going to reset that back to default for now, so at least I can actually see what I'm working with. And then we also need a rectangle and a perfect square. All right, shift key or shift an option for that. So we don't necessarily have to go all the way to the top. Maybe the taller ones will. But what I try to do is line them up so at least the middles look somewhat even. And then of course I want an even amount of centering or spacing between each one. I can use selection tool, or if it's active with the selection tool, I can use the arrows on my keyboard to actually go through and kind of nudge these things over, which kind of helps things line up. Work with that there, work with that there, and that there. So nice row. I mean, everybody's might be a little bit different size or whatever, but those 4 things, those shapes in that order, nice row. So to finishing off row 1, it asks us to go ahead and make sure that they all have a 4-point solid black stroke. So you can do that here in the stroke palette, or there are some of those features up here in the control palette. And then it also asks for a different shade of blue. So fill on top over here, and just any 4. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. That's it. Yours might be different order or different 4 shades. It's okay. The point is, you know how to make the shapes, you know how to use the tools to get them in order, nice spacing, nice rows, and you can apply fill and stroke color. So that's the end of part 1 of Basic Shapes. Tune in for part 2 to continue the rest of the demonstration. Thank you.